What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and the life you've always wanted is a simple misunderstanding? Not your circumstances, not your bank account, not your past mistakes or your current limitations, just one misunderstanding about who you really are and what you're actually capable of. Because here's what they've been telling me for decades through thousands of clients under hypnosis. You're not who you think you are. You're not this small, limited, struggling person trying to get by. You were a creator before you came here. You helped build universes. You designed planets. You shaped entire realities with nothing but focused intention. And then you came into this body and forgot everything. But forgetting doesn't erase the power, it just hides it. And today, we're going to remember. Now, I've been doing this work for a very long time. Past life regressions, future progressions, working with people from all over the world. And the one thing that keeps coming through over and over again, no matter who the client is or what we're exploring, is this. There are no limitations, none, except the ones you've placed on yourself. And I know what you're thinking. Dolores, that sounds nice, but you don't know my situation. You don't know what I'm dealing with. You're right, I don't. But I know this. Whatever you think is blocking you right now is just energy, and energy can be manipulated. In fact, that's the whole point of being here in this Earth school in the first place. The most important lesson you can learn while you're here on Earth is how to manipulate energy. Think about that. Not how to be a better person, not how to follow the rules, not even how to be spiritual, how to manipulate energy. Because everything, and I mean everything, is energy. Your thoughts, your body, your money, your relationships, all of it, just energy taking different forms. And if you can learn to work with that energy consciously, deliberately, with clear intention, well, then you can create anything you want. Physical things are actually the easiest. I'm not talking about abstract spiritual concepts here. I'm talking about cars, houses, jobs, relationships, money, the tangible stuff. That's the easy part. Once you understand the rules, and there are rules, two of them, very simple, very clear. You ready? Rule number one. You never create anything that will harm another person. Rule number two, you never create anything that will take away from another person. That's it. Those are the only limitations. You obey those two rules and you can have absolutely anything you want. Anything. Now, I've been using this for years in my business, in my personal life, in everything. My husband and I, we just sit back and watch the magic happen now. We don't struggle, we don't force, we just put in our order and watch how it gets filled, and it always does, every single time. A month ago, I wanted this auditorium full of people for this conference, so I told them, the ones upstairs, the ones who help orchestrate all of this, I said, okay guys, this is your next project. Fill this room and look around. They did it, didn't they? Not because I begged, not because I worked myself into exhaustion trying to make it happen. I just asked, clearly, specifically, and they handled the rest. Because here's what most people don't understand. It's the universe's job to give you what you want. That's literally what it's designed to do. But you have to ask. They don't know what you want until you tell them. And most people, they never actually ask. Or if they do, they're so vague about it that the universe has no idea what to deliver. Let me give you an example. We did a seminar on this exact topic in Los Angeles a few months back. 2 full days on creating your reality. And one of the speakers, she used this analogy that I thought was perfect. She said it's like going to a fast food restaurant. You walk up to the counter and you say, I want a hamburger. Okay, but what kind of hamburger? Do you want cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles? What size? You just said hamburger, so they're going to give you whatever they think a hamburger is. Then you get it and you complain. But I don't like onions. I don't like pickles. Well, you didn't tell them that. You put in your order. It's their job to fill it. But if you're vague, you're going to get vague results. I had a woman once who wanted a car. So she did what I told her to do. She wrote down the make, the model, the year, the color, exactly how much money she wanted to pay for it, every detail. And she got her car. Exactly what she asked for. Only one problem. It wouldn't run. She forgot to specify that she wanted a car that actually worked. Little detail, right? But it matters. Another woman wanted a man in her life, so she made this whole list of qualities. What he should look like, his personality, his values, everything. She sent it out, and she met him. Perfect match, except he was married. Forgot that little detail, so she went back, revised the order, added single to the list, got another man. This time he met all the qualifications. Only problem? He was 10 years younger than her. But she said, you know what? I can live with that. You see what I'm saying? You have to be specific. You have to know exactly what you want down to the last detail. Otherwise, you're leaving it up to interpretation, and the universe will give you exactly what you asked for, even if it's not what you meant. Now here's where most people get stuck. They think they know what they want, but when you really press them on it, they have no idea. I want to be happy. Okay, what does that look like? I want more money. How much? For what? I want a better job. Doing what? Where? With whom? You can't create something if you don't know what it is. That's not how this works. Before they can fill your order, you have to know what you're ordering. And you'd be amazed how many people go through their entire lives never actually deciding what they want. They just drift. They complain. They wish things were different, but they never sit down and say, this, this is what I want. Exactly this. So before we go any further, I want you to stop and really think. What is it you want to create in your life? Not what you think you're supposed to want. Not what your parents want for you or what society says you should be doing. What do you actually want? A job, an object, a relationship, money? What? And don't just think about it in general terms. I want you to see it in detail. If you were to visualize it right now, what would you see? What would you hear? What would it smell like? The more detail you can put into the mental picture of what you want to create, the easier it is for them to know exactly what you're asking for. Let me tell you what happened with my books. It took me 9 years to find my first publisher. 9 years. Because I was way ahead of my time and nobody wanted to touch this material. But all that time, all 9 years, I kept visualizing my books in bookstores. I saw them on the shelf. I saw people coming in and picking them up. I heard them talking about them. I put all of that detail into the mental picture. And one day, my daughter walked into a bookstore. She was just browsing, looking at books, and she saw 3 books sitting on the shelf. And she just absent-mindedly said out loud, "Oh, those are Mama's books." Then she kept walking, and then it hit her what she'd just said, because they weren't published yet. So she turned around to look at the shelf again, and there was nothing there. You see how the law works? They were showing her the future, what was already done on another level. Because in the quantum field, time doesn't work the way we think it does. If you can see it clearly enough, if you can visualize it with enough detail, it already exists. It's just a matter of it materializing in this physical reality. After my first book was published, the first volume of the Nostradamus series, a man wrote to me with the strangest story. He said he went into a bookstore and saw Volume 1 and Volume 2 on the shelf. He picked them both up, walked to the register, and then decided he'd just get Volume 1 for now and come back for Volume 2 later. So he put it back and only bought the one book. When he came back to the store a few weeks later to buy Volume 2, they didn't have it. He looked everywhere. Finally, he wrote to me asking if the government had pulled it off the shelves or something. I had to tell him. Volume 2 hadn't been published yet. He'd been holding a book in his hands that didn't even exist in this reality yet. What would have happened if he'd taken it home? Would it have disappeared? Would it have turned into a different book? We don't know. But these strange things happen when something is in the process of coming into reality. My daughter, she was in nursing school at the time and she was struggling. She kept saying, "I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to finish. This is too hard." She was depressed, ready to give up. So I told her the key: see it as already done. Not, "I'm going to finish nursing school someday." Not, "I hope I can make it through." See it as already accomplished. You're already a nurse. You're walking down the hospital corridors in your uniform. You're taking care of patients. You're doing the work. It's done. Live it in your mind as if it's already happened. She started doing that, visualizing herself as a nurse, not as a struggling student, and it worked. She became a nurse, worked in intensive care and cardiac units for 20 years. Because if you can see it in your mind, if you can visualize it clearly enough, it must happen. That's a law of the universe. Now here's the part where people really mess it up. They start worrying about how it's going to happen. Well, I want this, but I don't see how it's possible. I'd have to do this and this and this, and I don't know if I can. Stop. The moment you start doing that, you're limiting them. You're telling the universe this is the only way it can happen. And that's not your job. Your job is to know what you want, to see it clearly, to release it. That's it. Their job is to figure out how to make it happen. And they will make it happen in ways you would never, ever imagine. If you say, "I have to do this specific thing and that specific thing, and it has to happen this way," you're blocking all the other possible ways it could come to you. Just say, "This is what I want." Give them the exact picture and release it. Then sit back and watch the magic, because it is magic, and it happens fast now. The way time is moving, the way energy is shifting on this planet right now, things manifest faster than they ever have before. We do this constantly with our business. We just say, "Okay, guys, here's the next project," and we release it. We don't sit around worrying about it. We don't try to micromanage the universe. We know they're taking care of it, and they always do. But here's the thing: you have to believe it. You have to trust it. If you're sitting there saying, "Yeah, this sounds nice, but it won't work for me," then you're right. It won't. Not because the law doesn't work. It does. Always. But because you're blocking it with your own doubt. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is fine when it's not. This is about understanding how reality actually works. Everything is energy. You are a creator. You've always been a creator. You just forgot. And the universe is sitting there ready to take your order, but they need to know what you want. And they need you to get out of the way so they can deliver it. So stop making it harder than it has to be. Stop trying to figure out every step of the process. Stop limiting yourself with all the reasons why it can't work. Just decide what you want, see it clearly, and let them handle the rest. Now, what I want to do with you is take you on a little journey. We're going to go into the future, just a few years, 1, 3, or 5. You'll choose. And we're going to see what your life looks like at that time if you've accomplished whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish, if you've created what you're wanting to create. But before we can do that, you need to know what you want. How can you create something if you have no idea what it is? So take a moment, think about it. What is it you want to create in your life? Be specific, see it in detail. Got it? Good. Now, when we do this exercise, you might see things you weren't expecting. You might see yourself in a different job than you thought, a different house, a different city, a different relationship status. Whatever comes, trust it. Don't judge it. Don't try to make it fit what you think should happen. Just observe it. Write it down when we're done. Because if you can visualize it, it's real on some level. And it can become real on this level if you allow it. Some of you might not see anything at all. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or that you don't have a future. It just means maybe you're not quite ready to see it yet. Maybe you don't believe it enough. Maybe you're not relaxed enough to let the images come through. That's okay. This is just a game anyway. No pressure. Just see what happens. We did this same exercise in Los Angeles, and people saw the most remarkable things. Things that completely changed how they saw their lives. Things that gave them hope and direction and a clear picture of what was possible. So let's just play with it and see what comes through for you. All right, so I want you to get comfortable. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I want you to think about what it is you want to create. See it in your mind. See it as already accomplished, already done. You're not working toward it. It's already happened. Feel that. Really feel what it's like to have it. Now I want you to see yourself at the bottom of a long, tall staircase, big, wide marble steps, beautiful, solid. You're going to walk up these steps toward the top. Feel yourself moving up, one step at a time, climbing higher and higher. You come to a platform at the top of the stairs, and on this platform there are 3 doors. Each door has a number on it. The door to your left has a 1 on it. This is 1 year into the future. The door directly in front of you has a 3 on it, 3 years into the future. And the door to your right has a 5 on it, 5 years into the future. Choose the door you want to open. Don't overthink it. Just pick one, walk toward it, put your hand on the doorknob, and open the door. As you open the door, you see a dense fog in front of you, thick. You can barely see through it, but step into it anyway. Walk through that fog. As you move through it, it starts to dissipate. It starts to thin out. Keep walking. The fog is fading, fading, and now you're stepping out on the other side. Look around you. Where are you? What do you see? These are your surroundings in the year you picked. Look at the details, the colors, the light, the landscape. What does it feel like to be here? Now see yourself. What are you doing? What's your job? Your occupation? See yourself in the middle of that work. What does it look like? How does it feel? Good. Now switch scenes. I want you to see where you're living. What kind of place is it? A house? An apartment? In the city? In the country? Look at it closely. See the details. Walk through it if you want. Is anyone living there with you? If there is, see them. You'll recognize them. All right, now leave that scene. We're moving forward to an important day in this future time. An important day when something is happening that you would consider significant. You're there now. What's happening? What do you see? What are you feeling? Take it all in. Remember it. Because you're going to write this down when we're done. Now we're going to bring your focus back into this room, back into this body. You're starting to remember that there are other people sitting around you. You're becoming aware of this space, this time, this moment, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back fully. All right. Open your eyes, look around, you're back, and I want you to write down what you saw, even if it seemed crazy, even if it didn't make sense, even if it was completely different from what you expected. Write it down, because if you can visualize it like this, it must happen. This is how the law of the universe works. Did you see something you weren't expecting? Did you see yourself in a different kind of job? A different kind of house? Different people around you? Good. That means you're tapping into something real. Trust it. Don't try to analyze it to death. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just write it down and hold on to it. And here's what I want you to do from now on. When you go to sleep at night, think about what you want to create. See it in detail. See it as already accomplished, not as something you're working toward, as something that's already done. Live it in your mind. Feel it. Experience it. Do that every night. And during the day, when you catch yourself worrying or doubting, stop. Remind yourself you're a creator. You've always been a creator, and you're creating your reality right now with every thought, every belief, every visualization. So create what you want, not what you're afraid of, not what you think you deserve, what you actually want, because nothing, and I mean nothing, is impossible. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but Dolores, you don't understand. My situation is different. My problems are real. I have actual limitations. And I'm telling you, no, you don't. Not real ones. The only limitations you have are the ones you believe in. And the moment you stop believing in them, they disappear. I've seen this happen thousands of times. People who were told they'd never walk again. People who were told they'd never have children. People who were bankrupt, homeless, completely broken. And then they learned to work with this energy. They learned to visualize. They learned to ask clearly and release their attachment to how it had to happen. And their entire lives changed. Not because they got lucky, not because someone rescued them, because they remembered who they really were. They remembered their power. They stopped playing small. They stopped accepting the limitations that other people, or they themselves, had placed on their lives. And you can do the same thing right now, today. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect circumstances. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to see yourself differently, to see your life differently, to claim the power that's always been yours. Because here's the truth that nobody talks about. You're not here to struggle. You're not here to barely get by. You're not here to prove how tough you are or how much you can endure. You're here to learn, to grow, to create, to remember that you're part of this incredible, infinite, creative universe, and everything it can do, you can do, because you're not separate from it. You are it, in human form. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want what you want. Stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. They never will be. That's not how this works. Just decide, right now, what do you want? See it, feel it, release it to the universe, and then trust. Trust that it's already done on some level. Trust that it's making its way to you right now. Trust that the same intelligence that created galaxies and atoms and everything in between knows exactly how to bring you what you've asked for. Your only job is to stay out of the way, to stop limiting them with your doubt and your fear and your need to control every detail of how it happens. Just hold the vision, keep seeing it, keep feeling it, and watch what happens. Because I'm telling you, and I've seen this proven over and over and over again, if you can see it, it must happen. That's the law. And the law doesn't care about your past. It doesn't care about your current circumstances. It doesn't care if you think you're worthy or if you've failed 100 times before. The law just responds to clear intention, to focused visualization, to unwavering belief. And when you align yourself with that law, when you work with it instead of against it, everything becomes possible. Not someday, not eventually, now. So go ahead, create your reality, create anything you want, because nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible.